Alright, so here's what I'm about to accomplish or try. Now, try it from here to see if you guys can see it or not. Right now I have this on continuity. Hear that? Positive side, negative side. Nothing. That's because I'm not hooked up. Nothing. No voltage, no shorts, no nothing. Now I'm going to go back there and hook that up. I think I got it hooked up. Now we have power. Now let's go back to the same two positive and negative posts that are coming directly now that I think about this, they're coming off the battery bank that's tied to the wind turbine and the solar panel. But meanwhile, I have continuity between the negative and the positive. Now if we go to voltage, you're not going to be able to see that from up there, but well, you can see it there. It says 13 volts, and that's pretty well on the money. 13.4. 13.04. Alright? So we have voltage. There was no spark or arc or anything when I hooked this up. But now that I had mentioned something about the wind turbine and the solar panel, I've never had that problem back there. And I have it hooked up the same way. The only thing I'm using now is I'm using AC wire, 6 gauge, 6.2 AC coming in instead of the so-called DC 4 gauge. But it's coming directly from there to there. The black is the common, which is the common on, I don't want to mix up AC DC, but the black is the ground on the DC. The white I'm using as the positive on the DC. So the white one is hooked up to the battery positive, the black one is hooked up to the battery negative. And I have 13 volts, no sparks, no fuses blowing, nothing. Now if I switch this over, it changes. This is how I found it, because I was checking here to make sure that I was having the right continuities with no shorts, and the next thing I know I was getting a short. I'm saying, well, why should I be getting that short between these two? And right now I didn't get it, so why didn't I get that? Because I should have gotten it. Huh. Oh, I'm on voltage. Hey! Hello! Alright, but you know what? I just thought of something. Talking to myself. Hold on a minute. Okay, what I went back there was, I can't show you because if I unplug the camera, the battery's not up enough to make it back there. Back there, I have, I had to use marker on this because it's going to bleed right through and take a half a dozen pages with it. Do I have anything that I can put under there? Maybe I do. What's this page? this one. Back there, if you look at it, it's actually organized, but it looks like a mess. In the back, I've got the batteries. I don't know, there's 5 or 6 of them there. And the positive on each battery is connected to like a bus bar up here. And the negative is going to the other bus bar. And the negative is going up here. So this is the negative side, this is the positive side. Now, coming off of this bus bar, there's a lot of half-inch or whatever, nuts, bolts on both, because everything that's connected to here is grounded. So coming out of here, I'm coming up to here. However, there's other things hooked up to this. The turbine is tied into this. The solar panel, roundabout is tied into this. You know, the ground for this is also over here. So whatever power is here, the ground is there. There's a couple of other units that are tied up, like a spotlight up on the tower. There's another 12 volts going to the pump. Anyway, I'm wondering if it's the wind turbine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back there and disconnect everything and hook up one at a time to see which one's giving me the problem. Now, I'm also thinking, I'm not ruling this out, but if you remember right, on the breaker box up there that I put in the sub panel, on the AC side, when I got near the end, a call came in, and I had to go out to the call. So I hooked everything up so I could put the main back on. However, I didn't neaten everything up. So it's a possibility that the copper is touching a common. Now, I have seen that happen before. That actually happened to me once way out back. And it put a ground, a DC ground, onto my table saw top. And how I found that was I had a positive lead coming off a 12 volt, and I laid it on the table saw because the table saw wasn't connected to anything, nor was the ground connected to it. And when I laid it down, I got a spark. So my table saw top was grounding out to a DC ground somehow through the electric where it was plugged in. Don't ask me how this all happened, but it did. I mean, it was really a screwy thing. And then I also had voltage on all my grounding rods out there. I had the UI company come out. They checked it. They couldn't tell me what the problem was. All right? I had voltage on my grounding post. So anyway, I'm not going to rule out that it can't be a common or a copper common problem on the AC side, but I'm going to disconnect everything on the DC side because I have to straighten that all out up there anyway. Every time I go by it, I look at it and say, "Ay, what a mess." So I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to wait until the battery charges up a little bit, and then I'll take you with me. But meanwhile, anybody have any ideas? Because I'm coming basically direct. And I tried 2 different leads because I also have a 14.3 hooked up in here. The red and white are on the positive side, and the copper and black on the ground side. Now again, AC it's different, but on the DC, because I'm using it for DC, I'm running the black as a ground with the copper. And I did that so that whoever looks at this would see the copper being used as a ground the black being connected to it, because when you start running two different formulas, so to speak, you got to make sure somebody has a way of knowing that. So that's why I did what I did. And there's a mark in there, so I marked it so that they know what it is. All right, so I'm going to shut you guys off for a minute and let it battery charge, and then we'll go back there. All right, so what did I do? I disconnected everything out there, and I'm connected to one battery that's standing all by itself. So why am I showing that? I know there's no shorts back there. You know what? I want to test something. I'm wondering, wait a minute now. I'm wondering if it's these, because it's doing the same thing in there. And it's the same thing. Well, see, this isn't even connected. Okay, I'm going to try it again right here. Hold on a minute. Let me do that.
I have it just set to beep. I want to be able to read it, so I'm going to have to move it over so I can see what the numbers actually are. But meanwhile, I'll be here for a minute. While you're facing the wrong direction. See, if I touch this one here, which is a power, and that one, I get nothing. But if I touch it here, I'm getting something. And that is connected to this. Same USB. I bet you that's the problem. It's nothing, it's not a problem, it's just a characteristic of that plug.
Okay, disconnect it. No, it's not that off. Disconnect that one. There, okay. No, it's still there, so it's not that, apparently. Now, this wire is connected to nothing on the other end. Let me try something else here. Let me turn this stuff off because I don't want it to get zapped. So hold on a minute. Yeah, I'm going to shut off some breakers. There. Now let's go up here, see what we got. Now, like I said, right now this was a mess because I didn't have a chance to figure it all out or straighten it all out. So that right there could be the problem. Right there. Now this is live, so I don't want to do anything with it. I knew it was a common problem over here. I knew it. These commons, these coppers, are interfering with that common. Somewhere along the line, they're touching. And that's the problem. Okay. Now let me see where that accident is. Phone. Where was my phone? Oh, here it is.
Caller state setting. Man in a dump truck. Back to a power line. Wires down. Lost electricity in the area.
Well, how come it isn't coming across? I gotta get a dark curtain for up here. You notice? Oh, hey, babe. Do we have a piece of umbrella someplace? Do we have a piece of umbrella so I can make a canvas curtain to fit this window? That'd be perfect. Alright. Now the call came in, but I don't know where the hell it is. A truck backed into a power line. The power line is laying on the truck, but it didn't come across anywhere other than the scanner. So I'm waiting to see where that is. So, 'cause I don't hear any hoopla going on out there.
Oh no, I hear
Oh, you heard some sirens?
oh yeah.
Okay. I don't know where the hell it is. Well, I can't even check out where the guys are because it didn't show up. And if I hit the button, it played back. But it's not playing back. This is where we were talking about, and a lot of the guys that's been on for a while will say, well, why practice that? We'll never do that. Well, here's one of those incidences where, hello,
Paramedic 3 on scene.
if a truck had backed into the wires and the wires are laying on the truck, this guy should know not to move.
2 1 on scene.
And if he has to move, he's got to know how to move. That's why we train. Now this is either the shuffle or the bunny hop. Keeping your feet together and on the ground at the same time. Up at the same time, down at the same time, or shuffle at the same time. Well guys, I turn this on real quick. I've been going a little bonkers, not totally bonkers, but what I had done was I took the batteries outside and I took some baking soda and water and cleaned them all down, hooked them all up again. However, I am going to change all the leads. Now that I changed them around a little bit that way, I have a lot of extra wire, so I think I'm going to shorten them up and run 4 gauge instead of the 10 gauge. And then we'll take it at that, because that'll also help me along, because there is a little bit of line loss there, you know, as far as droppage, especially when I start teeing up. So it still looks like kind of a mess, but believe it or not, it's straightened out. I just got to check out something on that wind turbine. That's what that one ground is. I don't have it connected yet because I want to check something out on that before I go any further. But for most part, I'm done for today.